Here. Let's see. So today is June 26th, and you're going to be watching some live trading. I just put a trade on this morning, and we're still about neutral, but I think it's going to be working. So, hey, let's change it up. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at and how I think this might be going. So I will get back to the UVIX or UVYX, whichever one you guys like to use. And I am bearish on the market today. So this is a short term. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's why I need Camtasia. I need to get that thing up and running. Chuck, good morning. Looks like you had a great trade yesterday with me. You definitely had the right idea of exiting at our 120% win. And so the market's just been bouncy, right? So that's the thing. We got a nice move yesterday, and then it just bounced on us. And it seems to me we might still be getting kind of that same idea today. The market. Yeah, we got a lot of stocks up. I mean, actually, Amazon's doing great. Google, Tesla, doing great. But then I look at some of the internals, and the internals aren't looking that good either. And then I've been watching the UVIX to figure out if something's going to be moving. And what I'm seeing here this morning, and this is why I'm bearish on the market, is because the UVIX has put in this 5-minute inverse head and shoulders. And you can see there's the Moxie price trigger. And you can see that we are starting to move up and over the 5-minute 50. And so the UVIX looks like it wants to move up. And then if I look at let's go over here to the SPY, what I'm seeing in through here, and let me mute our other channel. Here we go. And what I'm seeing here with the SPY is that we just can't get any traction to the upside. So I'm leaning towards the downside. And what I'm seeing in through here is, yesterday had a pretty big bounce. I was like, okay, well, let's see what that does. But the 15-minute Moxie indicator is still really not telling me that this is fantastic. Like it's just not looking like it's ready to go up. And you can see the price continues to follow the 15-minute to the downside. And then you look at the hourly chart, and we have price underneath the hourly 50. So I'm kind of reverting back to my original thesis and thought that the S&P is probably going to come down to its daily 21. They're doing a darn good job hanging on to this thing and all that. But of course, it can just go sideways and go up. But I got to see that, and right now it's just not really happening. Mostly nothing's happening. That's kind of the thing. So we'll have to see how long this can stay intact. But it hasn't proven itself bullish yet. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing today. We'll see if it happens. We still have the hourly 8 below the hourly 21, and I'm just not really seeing much strength. And if we look at the internals today, the ticks haven't really been constructive over the last few days. They haven't said much, and you can see we've basically been having weakness start to show up. So even though we're getting all these kind of gyrations throughout the day, which maybe it's great if you're a day trader, maybe it's not, because even day trading is challenging. Like the move I put on this morning, it was up. I put it on and it went up 100% and then came right back down. So we are slightly positive as I speak right now. And that's just kind of what we've been seeing. Um, yeah, so we look at that, and then let me show you guys the internals right here. And you can see that the internals that we were getting were bullish. I mean, we got all the way up to almost 70% above on the 20-day, and then they just rolled right back over. And I'm like, huh, okay, that's a thing to pay attention to. So my idea and my thesis on this has been, I think that the market needs to build in more room to the down, like it needs to go down in order to provide the opportunity to go up into the 4th of July. Because usually the market has a bullish run into the 4th of July. Just think rah rah go America, and that's why it tends to happen. But I don't think it can go up necessarily from here. I think that it's too high. Things are just not quite ready, and I think we need to go down before we can go up. And so I've been looking for that, and it's been generally happening, but it hasn't happened in any like kind of way. And I'm just kind of wondering what kind of timing they're going to do. Are they going to maybe like really drive this thing down in 1 or 2 days, and then hey, we're good to go, and then they run it up for 4th of July? I mean, it can take 1 or 2 days before it hits the 21, and then they call it good. They just need to kind of wipe things out and then start over. And I'm kind of looking for that. So if we look at the VIX, we can see the VIX is very low, and so it makes me wonder how long can this thing stay here. And it's coming down here, and I just wonder if we get a bit of a pop or something. We're getting this double bottom, so the VIX isn't necessarily the greatest thing to be looking at here, but the UVIX I think is telling me a little bit more. This pullback, I'm wondering if this pullback is actually going to pull back into here, and then if we see a little bit of a move to the upside. So let's bring it back to the lower time frames, and yeah, you can see it's just kind of crawling its way up. So that's why I'm wondering if the market is going to move down, if this thing starts to find some traction and starts to move up. Now, if this doesn't find any traction, like if this is really just kind of a flag and then it starts to go back down like that, then okay, the market's going to be bullish, or at least just do nothing, and there won't be any problems. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at in through here and just trying to figure out which way it's going to go. But man, today has just kind of been a sideways deal. Like we look at this and it's been just a lot of chop, hasn't it? So which way is it going to break? Which way? And I thought maybe this morning, let's kind of take a look at it. Market opened with a gap down, started to move up. Let's see if it kind of flagged and see if it goes higher, but it didn't. And so I'm shifting my direction now to the downside because that, I mean, you can just see it just didn't work. That little bit of a gap down and morning drift up got sold into. And so, just look at this, even on the 15, if we zoom in, let me get that calibrated. If we zoom in on the 15, like look what's happening. You just can't quite get over the 15-minute 50. And if we look at the 5-minute, let's kind of look at this. You can see here, it's been trending down this morning. It is now below the 5-minute 50. And on the 2-minute, yeah, there's a lot of chop. Like we took the short trade right here. It worked. It doubled right there, and then it came right back up. So now we're gonna just have to see what this thing wants to do. And is it going to stay underneath the 2-minute and go down, or is it going to be able to get back up, and can it go up, or are we just going to be in a chop fest all day today and nothing works? So yeah, we'll have to see. So I told everybody, small size, the market's still kind of choppy. A lot of names are up, but as far as the index goes, it kind of looks to me like it might want to move to the downside. And if we look at the QQQ, the other thing, because they're going to generally move together. The other thing I'm looking at is this might have been a bounce into the underside of the hourly 50, and if that proves a resistance, then it moves down again. So it's kind of why I'm looking at this also and wondering, is this going to be resistance? I mean, we got the Moxie price trigger right there, and you can see here on the 15, we ran right into the 200, and so just kind of putting some fishing lures out there and seeing if that is the direction that the market wants to go. Just because this doesn't seem like it really wants to move up quite yet. As I said, yesterday was a nice bounce, but it bounced up into resistance, and then we're seeing some weakness today. So we'll have to see the market. Right, everything I'm looking at just kind of chopping around sideways. We'll give it some time. I do think that the market wants to be bullish overall, but I think, as I said earlier, we need to build in some room in order for the market to move up. I'm not quite sure it's ready to just go up right here, right now, and I'd love to see some sort of refresh. That being said, we talked about Google. Let me show you guys over here. If you come over to my X profile, and right here is yesterday, so 18 hours ago, I put out a video talking about Google, Amazon, and some of the bigger things we're looking at. And I was like, hey, Google broke out, it tested some support and continued to move right up there. And I said, I think Amazon will do the same. And so right here, you can see my Amazon post, and Amazon's having a pretty good day today also. So yeah, we're kind of getting this mixed market. Obviously, names have been going up while the market's been coming down. That's fine. It can happen. And then we'll go from there. And then also Mara, this was kind of fun. So let's see, I was talking to Sam, one of our other traders, and I said, I think Mara pops tomorrow. And this was yesterday, June 25th. And then we can see here, I took a trade on it this morning right at the open, and it seems to be working out. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to the Twitter, X, and get some of these notifications that I do, so you guys kind of get a little bit of clue of what's going on out there. All right, yeah, Mara looking interesting. Let me look at that one real quick, since then we can come back. Yeah, so right there, we'll have to see. It too has been pretty choppy, but I think that this looks bullish. I would have to lean towards the bullish side because even though it has been generally trending out, it's also been level and it just hasn't fallen apart. And so I think, well, if it hasn't fallen apart, then maybe it's just waiting for something. And the fact that it is generally holding over the daily 50, I'm like, okay, well, we'll see if it starts to do something. And then right here, bouncing off of that 15-minute 50 is why yesterday I said, hey, I think that the market's good. I think Mara is going to move up. And sure enough, it did this morning. So we'll see. We'll see how far that thing can actually carry. Let's see. Do I have a guess for what will happen to the market on Friday? No, I don't. If so Dragonfly, like it's tough. I mean, even day to day, I'm trying to figure out what this thing is going to do. It's challenging to say what is Friday going to look like because look at what the last 4 days have been like. So yeah, as I said, I think eventually we are going to be bullish. I think we are going to be bullish into the 4th of July. But as I said, I think we need to come down in order to make room for that. I could be wrong. We could just go sideways and build, kind of work off that overbought condition and then go up. So that's a possibility. But yeah, you tell me what's going to happen by Friday, and then we can make $1 million. So that's what we're all wondering as well. Yeah, Rivian had an investment by VW. I think they bought about or invested about $5 billion into them. So anybody know that beforehand? I got to say, this is what's amazing. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Look at it bounce perfectly off of the daily 50, and then the news comes. So it's almost like somebody knew something, right? So huh. Yeah. And then you could see that there was big volume the day before. So seems like somebody knew something. And then dare I say there was just a little bit of increased volume as price came into the daily 50. Now maybe that's a technical thing because coming into the daily 50, people are going to be starting to try and buy it in through that area. But yeah, at least yesterday seems like somebody knew something. So then if we look, where was I at? Amazon, Google. Google here, yep, having a great day. Talked about this on that video, and you can see here's that line of resistance and what to do. Finally broke out from that resistance and managed to take off. So I said, well, looks to me like Amazon is probably getting pretty close to doing that also. And sure enough, right through here, now I would say now the day's not over. Like we're still very, very early in the morning. But right here, you can see here's the line. It tried to break out earlier in the week, like what, Monday, or maybe this is Friday. I think it was Monday. Tried to break out a little bit earlier, couldn't do it, but this is looking better. We made a new high from earlier in the week, so that's good. And if you look at the hourly chart, look what it did. It perfectly bounced off the hourly 50. So yeah, that's why we have been bullish on this. We bought it right here at about 185, and it popped up, came back down, but really looks pretty constructive. Basically here, held the hourly 50 and then popped up. So I think Google was a good guide, a good example for that one. Yeah. All right, let me look back at the UVIX because I want to see what's happening through here since I got that day trade on. Yeah, it's still kind of elevated. Now we'll have to see if this is just kind of like a reversion up to the mean, and then if it wants to roll over like that, and that'll be bullish for the market, or if this is actually holding and trying to build to the upside. So it's as I said, we're hovering right around our entry price on our day trade, and we'll just have to see where this wants to go. Hopefully the UVIX gives us a clue, and if this goes up, that's fine. That'll be great for our trade, and if it doesn't, then we'll see if the market can actually start to kind of dig itself out of this hole. It's been a tough read this morning. I've been long and short this morning, and so far it's just like neither side is working because the market's just not doing much. And so I'm trying to look for clues here using the UVIX. I had a little bit of a clue, as I said, first thing this morning, because you could see there was this inverse head and shoulders, and then kind of right in through here, it started to perk up. And now we just need to see if this is going to continue or not. All right, let's see. So yeah, Amazon's looking good. Google's looking good. DJT, huh? Let's see, DJT. Yeah, I don't know, hard to say. About the only thing to really comment on this is that it got really oversold right there. That's about it. So oversold and then bounce. Now, maybe this is the beginning of an up move, but brighter side, I think you kind of know my style, and you can see here the last time that a oversold dip turned into a move to the upside, and there was a process. You can see right there, started to work out. And so that's what I'm going to be looking for. This might be just a hair too early, but I would be watching that and see if it can work out and kind of look for something similar in that regard, if it can do that. Okay. All right, let me go take a look at the SPY again. Might need to exit that. And again, just feels like kind of a choppy day. Yeah, just kind of choppy in through here. Yep. So these, yeah, if it can keep holding, then this is it. Then the market wants to go up, which is great. I'm okay with that. All of my positions except for my day trade are long and bullish, but the internals, yeah, we're looking just, I get this. This is so weak, the rest of the market's not really on board. And yet the mega caps are doing kind of their own thing. So it seems like, mega cap all day, every day. All right, then let me look at the NASDAQ real quick. Yeah, because it looked to me like price ran into the resistance here. So let's see, it comes up and then comes down. And then if it's going to go down like that, or it's going to come up, come down, and then continue to crawl up. So we're really kind of in that spot where we need to give just a little bit of time in order to figure out where it's going to be going on that. And again, with the UVIX, trying to see where this is going to go. And right now, it seems possible if it's going to be holding that 5-minute 50, even like this. You see here how back here it held the 5-minute 50 and then popped towards the end of the day. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to see if this is going to set up for anything. So got to be a little bit careful out there. All right, let's see. For the market as a whole, I'm concerned that what USO is doing on a weekly time frame looks like it's preparing for a major move. Yeah, it does look like it wants to go up. We have been discussing that in our channels. Let's see, let me get over to here. And yeah, certainly, it looks like it wants to go higher. It really does, right there. So yeah, USO looking like it wants to move up, and if is that going to put pressure on the market, the economy, oil prices up, inflation, or does it mean demand and the economy is actually doing okay? So that's another possibility too. But yeah, I think it's looking. It certainly looks to me like it wants to go up. Now I don't know if I'd buy it right here, but any kind of pullback into support, and if it continues to move up, then yeah, I would be thinking it might want to do that. So. Okay, guys. Well, this market is just kind of choppy, but Tesla's doing well, Google is doing well, Amazon's doing well. What else we got? AMD still kind of stuck in a rut, and then we have Reddit. Reddit's been doing well also for us. So it's been a tough mixed market. We'll see where this resolves. As I said, I think overall bullish into the 4th of July, just trying to figure out when that's actually going to happen. So guys, remember, if you are interested in what I do and how I trade and talk about this stuff, come over to simplertrading.com/Moxie, and we'll see you later. I know.